Protests just hours after federal agents in large trucks took over a street in the South Shore neighborhood. Neighbors tell us they saw multiple arrests during the targeted immigration raid.
People who live there tell our Sabrina Franza that American citizens were also briefly detained. She's live for us on the scene now. Sabrina?
Joe, Erica, just about 12 hours ago, this entire street here was flooded with federal agents. Inside the building, we saw doors being boarded up after some of those doors were smacked down in the middle of this immigration raid. As you mentioned, we are hearing from neighbors that some of the people who live here were briefly detained by law enforcement. Sources tell us that is standard protocol to keep everyone inside safe, though people who live here say this was frightening and definitely disconcerting.
They asked me, was I a U.S. citizen? I told them, yeah. I was born here.
Patricia Fisher says she was detained by federal agents this morning.
It was real tight, all right here. And every time I moved, it would hurt.
Claims she was held for hours in a van with other neighbors at 7500 South Shore Drive, while agents confirmed her identity, citizenship, and confirmed she had no active warrants.
Put us in the black van, and then had the other Venezuelans and a white van.
Children, she says, also let out of the building.
No shoes. The kids that had no shirts or no pants on, they just treated us like we were nothing.
So why are you taking U.S. citizens if you came for just these immigrants? They said, oh, we just came for these 5 people that committed the crime. So where in your warrant does it say detain the entire building?
Ebony Watson watched and filmed what she saw.
And all you see is this whole block full of budget rental cars.
A massive show of force and rental trucks used in this mission alongside ICE, FBI, and other federal agencies. The FBI called it a, quote, targeted immigration enforcement operation. Are they at the property? Because we're here. We tried to find the property manager. No one would meet with us or give us any information about what happened.
It's crazy. It felt like we were under siege last night.
This entire neighborhood still grappling for answers.
You know, this is supposed to be America. We all supposed to have rights, and it look like our rights are just gone.
Now, we're still waiting for more information from ICE, DHS, or Border Patrol. We've reached out to all of them and are still waiting for more details about exactly why this happened this morning, who they were looking for, and who has since been detained. We'll circle back when we have those answers. We're in South Shore. Sabrina Franza, CBS News, Chicago.
Sabrina, thanks.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo-Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, and that is who the world ignorantly calls God. Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahweh Shai, meaning He is our salvation, and that is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man, who, by the way, only came for the Israelites, all right? Which brings us to our discussion / topic this afternoon. As you saw, okay? Jacob's trouble. You saw it, all right? Here it is. We in the middle of a ICE raid, or whatever you want to call it, raid. And they supposedly or allegedly came there for 5 people. But in the midst of those 5 people, they rounded up who? All of Israel, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom, okay? And they had budget vans, okay? You saw those big budget vans? What do you think they're going to have when they get this thing really up and moving? All right? They may pull up in your neighborhood with a semi-truck. All right? Because why? They going to round us up, okay? This is what's going down. This is what's getting ready to go down. And we've been warning you and telling you, you wicked ass 2/3, that this damn devil, he got it out for you. All right? So these budget trucks, yeah, they got the means to round up a lot of you goddamn 2/3. All right? And they gonna haul y'all asses off to these FEMA camps. Okay? Where y'all gonna get what? Re-indoctrinated? Y'all gonna get what? Fed the mark of the beast? The RFID microchip? And then you'll be allowed to get repopulated back into the population. But you think this is happening in secluded neighborhood where a bunch of Edomites are at? Hell no. They're not questioning the Edomites for their citizenship. But you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, yeah, they gonna question you. I thought this was America. Well, that's where your first mistake lied at. Your first mistake lied in that you thought this was America. You thought this was your resting place. All right? But this is a wake-up call. This damn devil don't like you. He hates you. It's embedded in him. Biblical prophecy. He has that perpetual hatred. Here it is. He took out the damn children with just underwear on. No pants, no shirts, no nothing in the middle of the night. We've been telling you, these devils are going to roll in at an unforeseen time, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, under the auspice of we just here trying to find these criminal, illegal immigrants and round your ass up, haul you off to a FEMA camp until they can sort out things otherwise. We see in the prelude, the beginnings of Jacob's trouble. We there. Shit is only going to escalate. And we've been told you. See? But Jake don't want to get the picture till the picture's been drawn. Until your ass is put in handcuffs. You seen that lady? Every time her wrists move, they got tighter. What? The handcuffs, the shackles. All right? You can see this is an all-out attack on Israel, the true Israelites. Okay? This is Jeremiah 50 and 33. It reads, "Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel, the northern kingdom, and the children of Judah, the southern kingdom, that makes up all of Israel together, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, were oppressed together here in Babylon the Great, the United States of America. And all that took them captives held them fast." Right, which is why all these nations is going to have their ass in shackles and chains. But first and foremost, them damn Edomites, the so-called white man. It says, "And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go." Micah 2 and 10. "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest." It will what? Let's read it. Micah 2 and 10. "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest." Why? Because it is polluted. See? The Pop said, "I thought this was America." That's where your mistake lied at. You thought that this was America, that you had rights here. No, Pops. They finna round you up. They finna round everybody else up that look like you. They finna round up all of Israel and haul their ass off in them budget vans. You see how big them damn budget box trucks were? Modern day cargo slave ships, but with wheels on it. They finna round your ass up, haul you off to one of these detention centers, you see? Get you marked, chipped, and you gonna belong to whatever elite that got dibs on that person. Whatever Edomite, whatever Elamite, because you're gonna have elites from all different nations that's putting their bids and dibs on different Israelites. Psalms 83. "Arise ye," let's look at some of the elites that's going to have bids and dibs on Jake. Psalms 83. Because you thinking it's a game. We telling you. We talking about a time like no other. And we seen it where they going to regard neither man or woman, child or children. Psalms 83 says, "Keep not thy silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power." See? This is why we're crying and sighing right now, because we know the Lord is going to let this man cut loose. They ain't gonna regard whether or not you got babies or children. Once the spirit creative of vengeance jump on them, they gonna move. They gonna hit anything moving. Whether it's little Hector in the back room back there, you see, and I'm under the impression that this government shutdown is to bring in more intensity. Because why? Some of these federal workers, these ICE agents, so on and so forth, may not get paid. And what happens? They are relieved from their duties, and they bring in what? Foreign ICE agents or foreign martial law troops. Okay? That's been promised to get what? Credit or whatever on the RFID microchip that may have already been microchipped. Okay? So wait till it really start to turn over until you see so-called Chinese or so-called Africans or so-called Arabs rounding up. You got them 2/3. Then it's gonna really hit home. We in another time now. This ain't your America from 1950 and 60 where you just got Edomites. This is the new world order where now you got all type of nations coming in and acting martial law against you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And it says for verse 2, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. See, this is going into Jeremiah 50, what we're reading. All right, these other nations, they are all complicit. All right, they're going to have elites from all other nations that's going to be bidding on who? You goyim, or what they call cattle. All right, that's how these Amalekites look at the people, the useless feeders, as what? Cattle or goyim in the Hebrew. And you're going to get chipped and you're going to belong to them. All right? You're going to belong to the Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers. All right? You're going to belong to the king of Saudi or however you say it. You see? You're gonna belong to these individuals that you can't see, that we don't have privy to, but we know they there. Because the Lord gonna take them all into captivity. For lo, thy enemy make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. See, this is why we had to wake up to who we are. Jeremiah 17:4. And thou even thyself shall discontinue from thy heritage. See, this is what the Lord did for us disobedient. He rose up these other nations that cut us off, that Israel shall be no remembrance. Now you got imposters over there in the Holy Land claiming to be us. But now they getting exposed. It says, and thou even thyself shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. We're in our captivity that outside of America, we lost who we were. In all of our captivities, we knew who we were. We just went a whoring after other idols and gods. But in this captivity, here in Babylon the Great, under this Edomite, we lost our identity. All right, it was taken from us. It was whipped out of us. It says, from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. Right. This is the land that we know is not. America, the uttermost part. It says, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. See? And we're going to be under this anger until he sends his only begotten son, Yahushua. We are under these curses until Yahushua comes back. But he has preserved Yahweh a small remnant, a cluster for himself, known as the elect. All right. So when these damn troops roll in like they did out there in Chicago, guess what? The Lord's going to lift up that standard. The Spirit's going to lift up that standard, and they're going to be met with resistance. Okay? So this is the only place we lost our identity of who we were as Israelites here in America, and we had to be woken back up to the fact that we Israelites, and this is what you're seeing now, that great awakening, and that devil, he's getting, cold sweats, seeing that. He's shaking in his boots, which is why he's getting ready to come down with great wrath. Okay? We seen it. That video, this news story, encompass it all. He round up the southern kingdom, the northern kingdom. He took out children. He took out children and babies in their damn underwear. He didn't care whether or not they had shoes on, pants, shirts, or whatever. In the middle of the night, he didn't care if they were sleeping, if they was tucked in. He came and got them all under the auspice of, we just here to pick up or extrapolate 5 illegal criminal immigrants. Took out the whole damn apartment building. And we telling you, goddamn Jakes, it's finna get real out here. It's finna get serious. Yahushua warned us. He said, when you see, what did he say? When you see the abomination of desolation spoken of in Daniel in the holy place where it ought not to be, let him that read this flee into the mountains. You see, when these troops start showing up in your town, in your city, you already know what time it is. Okay? And if you don't, you need to get right with the Lord while you still got opportunity. While you still got an opportunity. Because he got his servants, the prophets out here prophesying before that great and dreadful day comes. All right, but you want to do whatever you want to do. So guess what? When this sword gets ready to be unleashed on you 2/3, and then ultimately that ultimate sword, which is the thermonuclear missiles, you're going to be finished. All right? Just that simple. You're going to be finished. So going back to Psalms 83, where they have consulted and said, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So we see that's here in America. For they have consulted together with one consent. All these elites are on the same page. That's why this mark of the beast, RFID microchip, will be made mandatory globally, worldwide, throughout the earth. In order for you to buy and sell, you're going to have it. If it's here in America, if it's there in Saudi Arabia, if it's there in London, if it's there in Germany, wherever you want to travel, you want to go, you're going to have it. They setting the stage right now. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. They are confederate against thee. And it goes into the tabernacles of Edom, the so-called white man, the tabernacles of Moab, the so-called Chinese man, the Hagarenes, Africans, Gebo, and Ammon, the Japanese Ammon, Amalek, the so-called white man, the small hats, the Philistines, and with the inhabitants of Tyre, and the list goes on. Okay, showing you they all complicit. They're gonna all have bids on you, just like back then. They was all complicit with us being rounded up and bought and sold over here in America. This is their new slave trade. All right. You're going to be broken up. You're going to be processed. You might not be with your family anymore. You might be sold off to some, elite over there in Saudi Arabia. And this is the mindset we need to be in. You may not see your family anymore. They may, quote unquote, get lost in the paperwork. You see? But through the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, we telling you to get your spirit right. All right? This devil, he's getting ready to come down with great wrath. Okay? So you thinking that this is America, you sadly mistaken. That's where your first mistake lied at, that you thought that this was America. That's why we read in Micah 2:10. Let's read it again. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. See, you got comfortable, you got complacent. I thought this was America. Why they rounding? Nigga, you look like a goddamn immigrant. An Israelite. Particular. To be more specific. You are what they would call their intended target. Okay? And just wait. When this sword really just wait when the sword really gets cut unloose. A lot of you goddamn Jakes ain't gonna know. Y'all gonna see that big ass budget rental truck pulling up outside a restaurant, outside a theme park, and you're gonna see Edomites free to go. But they're gonna stop and question you. Oh, we just need to question. We need you. We need y'all to step into this room back over here. But what about Bob? What about Steve? What about Robert? Nah, they good. They can go. We don't need them. They ain't after the damn Edomites, man. They themselves are Edomites. They after you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? This is who they coming after, the Israelites. And essentially, they want the elect. All right? You already know. They got the apostles' whereabouts, the elders, those of us that are professing the truth. They know our habits. They know our routines. They know where we sleep. They know where we rest our head at. They know where we work. They know our daily, lifestyle. They got all that because why? We got phones, man. Tracking devices. Okay? They know. See? But we not sleep as others. All right? We understand they getting ready to come down with great wrath. All right? This is just confirmation. All right? We knew. We knew Jacob's trouble was right around the corner. We knew we in the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble. We know it's going to get worse as it intensifies. As we're going to go into that word, short. All right? This devil's finna really amp it up, man. Okay? I can honestly say I don't see things going back normal. Or what you would have perceived to be normal a few years ago. I don't see things going back to where it was 2019. Okay? It was only for so long they could put off that facade that, yeah, we getting things back to normal, or now under this new administration, we trying to make America great again. Yeah, for themselves, not for you Israelites. See? But you're going to find out either one way or the other that these damn devils got it out for you. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction, which is ultimately those missiles. Okay? So you've been warned. Take it as a joke all you want to until they start to roll up in your town, your neighborhood, your cities. Haul your asses off in these damn budget rental trucks. Because right now, they just detained them in the back of the budget rental trucks. Eventually, they're going to get that tap on the side of the budget truck. You know that tap when they go, and then they say, take off. And you're going to hear that big-ass truck, boom, 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 start up and drive. And you're going to be like, what the hell? Where we go? Yeah. Nigga, you getting ready to be taken out to these processing centers. Get your ass processed. Okay, you want to go back to your apartment? We got to have you processed because as of right now, you ain't got the chip in you to be living there. Who you think gave him the go ahead and do it? The damn leasing manager, the apartment manager. Okay, you think they didn't clear that with the apartment manager in some type of magnitude? If not the apartment manager, the CEO of the apartment, they probably didn't tell the apartment manager because she would have probably gave them a heads up if they were Israelite. So they probably went up to the next level, the CEO of that apartment or that project, and told them, can we see some surveillance? They probably seen everything. They probably seen everything they needed to see to make that, that decision. All right, let's go ahead and raid it at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Get them all out. See? But you want to mock and scoff at the mouthpiece of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, his servants, his prophets. Well, guess what? That sword is going to be furbished for you. All right? That ultimately sword, which is what? The thermonuclear missiles and the sword leading up into that sword. All right? Which is these damn devils, man. Coming in with firearms, coming in with robot dogs, coming in with the whole 9 yards, man. Okay? Damn, them boys had fucking budget box rental vans stacked down the line. Boy, you know they was coming to clear out the block, man. You don't need to one is big enough, but you got 3 and 4 for 4 people, for 5 people. No, man. Bullshit, man. They wanted that whole apartment, man. They wanted all the damn occupants of that whole unit. However many units in there, they wanted all of them. Because they know ain't number Israelites there. All right? Albeit 2/3, but still. You may have had an elect member or 2 in there. And you're going to have some of the elect members get carted off. All right? But the thing that separates the elect, those that know from those that don't, is that they got the names and they believe, they got faith. So we going to be prepared for when that happens. So back to Jeremiah 50 and 33. It says, thus saith Yahweh hosts, the children of Israel, the northern kingdom, and the children of Judah, the southern kingdom, were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Right. We read Psalms 83, they all consent, saying, let us cut off Israel that it be no more remembrance. So now they got you believing that you're an American. They got you believing that you got rights. Man, Jake, you're going to be easily destroyed, man. You already destroyed, but you're going to be easily had. See, this is why we crying and sighing, man. It says in Ecclesiastes, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. See? What's that, Ecclesiastes? Ecclesiastes 7:7. It says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. See? They give you what you call it? They give you, damn, I can't even think about it, when you get like to pay $1 a month for rent. They give you Section 8 HUD. Man, Trump cutting all that shit off. What you think this government shutdown is going into? All those what you call it, all those subsidies, they gonna be taken out, man. This government shutdown could potentially linger on until the beginning of next year, stripping all you people of your government subsidized, where you have to come get this RFID microchip, or at the least a digital ID. It's gonna get real in the proverbial battlefield, okay? And we've been telling you. So Ecclesiastes 7:7, but see, Ecclesiastes 7:7, better is the end of a thing than the beginning. Ecclesiastes 7:7, Slakia. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. See? This is why we're not going to take that RFID microchip, Father will, Abba Rathasah. Because we're going to rely on who? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. But see, you 2/3, you're gonna get that idol. And you're going to get that microchip. All right? Let's go to Revelation 12 and 12, because I want to look at this word short, because this is what's getting ready to happen. This is Revelation 12 and 12. It reads, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Why? For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. See, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get rounded up. We told you about the Rex 84 plan. All right. We told you this devil, all these things you was yelling conspiracy and conspiracy and conspiracy. Well, we're going to see just how much of a conspiracy is when he actually had your ass being indoctrinated and put back into society, when he rounds you up. Depending on your level, I believe it's yellow, blue, or red. or it might be green, seeing if he can indoctrinate you or if you just a lost cause and he got to put you down by decapitating you and putting you in that guillotine. See? That Rex 84 plan, all right? You think it's a joke. We told you these damn devils was getting ready to move. We seeing his army being summoned together now with ICE, with DHS, with eventually martial law, and it's just going to be ready to go down. Because why? He has but a short time, as we're going to read in the next part. It says, the devil is come down unto you having great wrath. Why? Because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Now, when we look into this word short in the Greek, let's look up this word short, because it's going to tell you what type of time it is. Okay? Short. Come on, reverse now. This is short. Because you know that he have but a short. Now let's look at this word short. It's more than one meaning. Let's look at this meaning in the Greek.
Strong's G 3641, oligos. Oligos.
Now B does say of time short, which that's true. But look at the next one, C. Of degree or intensity. So he knows he has an intensity. And he going to bring it. It's going to be intensified. It's going to be intense. It's going to be an intense time. This is Jacob's trouble, man. A time like never before. We talking about we going to see shit. I just did a video the other day. Don't regret now. You see? You're going to have drones in the sky. You're going to have all type of surveillance everywhere. It's going to be an intense time. Jacob's trouble. It says of degree or intensity. Okay? That's that short. Now let's look up that word time. This is why you have to look up words in the Greek and in the Hebrew. It says, to a measure of time. So he's going to have an intense measure of time, which is what? Jacob's trouble. It's going to be intense. We're going to be on the run consistently, fleeing as pilgrims. And you got Jake thinking it's a joke out there, man. You see, this is why we're going to have to trust in Yahweh with all our heart, man, our mind. All right, the Spirit may wake us up right before a raid like this happens, or the Spirit might teleport us. All for what? The glory of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shada, so he may get glory, because people going to be like, wow. They was just here a second ago. Your apartment manager might tell them, I just seen them go inside the house 10 seconds ago. What do you mean they not there? Well, we just popped open the door and we ain't see nobody in there. Impossible. I even got him on camera going in there. Lord, I'm teleported you. Just like that. All right? All for what? His name to get praised, man. Because you got to believe these apartment managers, these leasing agents, they know they got Israelites that know that they Israelites inside their apartments or complexes or whatever. Especially if they Edomites or other nations. All right? They ain't saying that because why? They probably going to get some kind of kickback in that time if they give over intel to DHS or whoever else looking for it when it comes that time. All right? So they going to know, you know, they going to look for the best time. They may even get a damn key from your apartment leasing manager or leasing office agent. And they open the door and you gone. You done teleported, you and your family. So it's going to be a very intense time of measure. A measure of time is going to be a very intense measure of time. Known as what? Jacob's trouble. Okay? Let's get that, and then we go into the Apocrypha a little bit. This is Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. It says, at last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. See, this is going to be the most intensive time on earth. Why? Because this devil has that short time, that intense measure of time. He's finna roll out shit to the likest we never seen. And we've been scouring the internet for all type of things, but he's finna roll out shit that we don't have privy to, which is why we're gonna need Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah to fight for our side. Fight on our side. It says, and last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob trouble. But he who, the elect of Jacob, Israel, shall be saved out of it. Right? The 2/3, they just gonna have to perish here and be done away with. As it says, don't worry about how the wicked shall be punished. Worry about how the righteous shall be delivered. That's all we worried about is the elect, man. You 2/3, this is good. This is good. This is good for you to be judged. All right? You women, you rebellious women, you YNs, you high-minded, jakes that think you above reproach, that think that you better than the truth. All of you. All you 2/3, because it ain't just the YNs, the young ninjas or the little ninjas. It's you uppity dude that think you too well to do, that think this thing is a joke. You too. All you 2/3. Okay? Good riddance, man. We can't wait for this shit to take off. All right? We only worrying about the elect. Okay? So let's get this in the Apocrypha. Give me 1 second. All right, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9 and 13. It reads, and therefore be not curious how the ungodly shall be punished. See, so we ain't worrying about you 2/3, man. All right, we know you're going to get your day in, you're going to get your day in court. You're going to get your day and be judged. It says, and when, and we ain't worried about when it is, okay? All we here is just to tell you, if you don't repent, this is what's going to come down and happen. So we don't care how and where, we just here to tell you, all right? We here to preach the word, that's it. Be instant in season and out of season. It says, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved. This is all we here for, the elect. All right, to tell them, hey, we have a savior that's going to deliver us. All right, because only the elect is going to take heed to this word. The wicked of our people ain't going to take heed. They're going to mock, they're going to scoff, they're going to try to be into debates, they're going to try to be into everything else outside of prophecy, which is the testimony of Yahushua. So we ain't worrying about them. Let them do what they do. That's what the 2/3 lot is, okay? They're going to do what they do until that time of judgment. We here to inquire on how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is and for whom the world is created, right? Because they're going to be the only ones that transition from this world or kingdom to the next kingdom without tasting the sting of death, all right? And then the 2/3 of our people will come back through the righteous and they'll be righteous. All right. So we're not worried about how the damn unrighteous is going to be, punished or whatever. All right. They don't want to repent. Fine. Let them be in that wicked state of mind. We here for the elect. All right. That's the only thing we here for, the elect. Okay. Those are the only ones that's going to take heed. All right. So let's go to 2nd Ezra 16. All right. Because what just happened is a prelude to what's getting ready to happen on a large scale. This is 2nd Ezra 16. Let's start at verse 70 or 60. Yeah, let's start at verse 70. No, yeah. This is 2nd Ezra 16 and 70. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. See, talking about the Israelites. Yeah, they're going to have choppers, helicopters. They're going to have everything out looking for Israelites. Okay? It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Who are those that fear the Lord? The Israelites. They shall be like madmen, sparing none. You've seen those madmen. All right? When the enemy should come in like a flood, we've seen it. Sparing none. Man, child, woman, it don't matter. You got a damn dog, he making noise, take his ass out. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord, the Israelites. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. We just seen them. Put their ass in the back of a budget box rental van. But why? I thought we were citizens. I thought we were Americans. Hey, man, that's where your mistake lied at in thinking that you was a citizen. See? Oh, every time I move my wrist, the cuffs got tighter. Hey, don't move your wrist. Don't move your wrist then. They don't care. Your grandma, they may even put man, fuck. Hey, your grandma might be using a walker or your pop might be using a walker. They gonna hoist their ass up in the back of that box van. They ain't gonna be gentle with them. They gonna pick their ass up and throw them in the back of the box van. That, oh, let me help you up the stairs, Mr. Tyrone, or let me help you up the stairs, Miss Marshall. That shit gonna be thrown out the window in that time. We just read they have a short and intense measure of time. They gonna put cuffs on you and throw your ass in the back of the budget rental box and drive off. Not even gonna strap you down, man. They ain't gonna regard the elder, the aged woman or the aged man. They ain't gonna regard that. It says they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Right. Baby, I ain't paid my rent this month. I ain't been able to get up out of here. You can't give me another month or two? Nope. Your leasing agents, your apartment manager done told us you ain't paid it. Get up out of here. Then you're going to have, individuals that's trying to come to Miss Marshall's aid, and they asking roped up and taken down to these detention centers. Once you get down there, we can get you chipped. And if your leasing agent or manager wants to allow you back inside the building, they can. But right now, it's being reported that you ain't got a microchip. You don't want to take it. So what we're going to do, we're going to take you down to this detention center. We're going to get you re-indoctrinated. And then according to that, we'll see how it goes. We'll get you chipped. And if they want you back in the building, we'll let you back in. If not, you'll stay out here in this detention center. Okay? It says, for they shall waste, verse 72, and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold and the fire. Right? Because why? The elect ain't going to take whatever it is that they are promising them if they, all but take this RFID microchip, because some of the elect will be rounded up in this, okay, and taken down to these detention centers, all right, where they will be what? What does it say in 66? 2nd Ezra, is that 6? Might have been 16. I might have been in the chapter right there. That's why it's good to do these lessons so you can stay up on, doing the work. 2nd Ezra 16. Yeah, it was right here, 68. It says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, which was what we read in 70, 73, all the way down, and feed you being idle, right? Because if you ain't got no type of income coming in and you rely on the government for subsidized like our elderly do, and you can't make your rent, you can't get down to make a payment, you don't have no digital ID, when they transition over to this new system and you still living in these apartments or these retirement homes or whatever, and you won't move and get out because you feel like you are citizens of America, and they call the damn ICE or whoever they're going to be in charge, martial law, they come and take you out, take you down to these detention centers. They're going to give you the option. Get re-indoctrinated, get this RFID microchip, potentially go back to your retirement home or go back to your house or whatever it is, and live out your life according to the beast system. Or don't and get your head beheaded. It says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. We just read that. They should be like madman sparing none. It's kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you. Being idle, because you ain't going to have no work. You ain't going to have no job. With things offered unto idols, which is what? The RFID microchip. When you take that, you're going to be worshiping an idol. Okay? Because why? That's going to be your new God. That's going to be where you get your food, your raiment, your shelter, your clothes, and everything else. See? So they're going to come and take you, pick you up, bring you down to these detention centers, and give you the chip and potentially reinsert you into society depending on your re-education level of the New World Order. But see, for the elect, we ain't going to take it. And we understand the outcome. Revelation 20:4. All right? Revelation 20:4. But to the non-elect, the 2/3, they're going to, hey, what does it say? Let the unrighteous perish in vain. Let's see if we can get that. And then we get ready to close out. they gonna die in vain, man. Let the Second Ezra 9:22. It says, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. See? So they going to be, sole purpose is to perish in vain. They're going to reject the RFID microchip, and then they're going to perish in vain. Because why? They're not of the elect. Okay? So what if you say you don't want the microchip and you want to die? You don't have the names to call on, you died in vain. Okay? You don't have the knowledge, the truth, you died in vain. All right? That's what's going to separate those that die for a cause and a purpose of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and those that die for their own purpose. It was what? In vain. So it says, 2 Ezra 9:22, let the multitude perish then, which were born in vain. That goes to the heathen and the 2/3 of our people. And let my grape be kept, right? That small cluster that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai preserved for themselves, the elect. And my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect, right? This is why we're not going to die in vain. All right? When we refuse the RFID microchip, it's going to be because the Lord has perfected us, as that prophecy has to be fulfilled. But to the 2/3 and the others that think they dying for a noble cause because Jesus Christ, they're not going to take the RFID microchip. It's going to be for nothing, man. For vain. See? So we ready, man. Abba Rathas, our Father will. We see it coming. Things are just going to intensify. It's Chicago now. He's talking about Memphis, Portland, all the Democratic states. We know that's where a majority of Jake live at. That's why he ain't coming to Esau, Edom neighborhood. He ain't coming to these well-to-do off secluded neighborhoods asking them as they citizens. Seeing if a Torrendo Tragua or whatever that is in their neighborhoods. No, they good. They Gucci, as they say. All right? The only thing they got to worry about is taking the chip so that they can, go to a Whole Food or some type of grocery store and go out to ball games and things like that. But as far as them getting raided at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, unless it's some intel that they hiding Jake there, they should be, hey, they gonna be Gucci. All right? They ain't gonna have to have their sleep disturbed. Okay, they gonna sleep like a baby. That's why it says he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor. They gonna have to worry about getting that chip to go to their son's baseball game or go to a sporting venue or whatever have you. All right? But as far as getting their house raided at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, for what? They got the connection. All right? They got the Edomite supremacy connection. As they say, the skin for the complexion. That's why we don't judge how a person looks on the outside. Because you never know. They could be an Israelite. You know, and the Lord might just have that person to be one of the ones that take in an Israelite. Because why? They are Israelite themselves. And they in a predicament or a position where they can, you know, house or allow what these devils would perceive to be an Israelite because it's a dark-skinned person as a Israelite from a white-skinned, so-called white-skinned person. All right? So it's going to be miracles being made on all 4 fronts. All right? So this is a very, you know, fantastic time that we getting ready to enter into. Jacob's trouble, known as Jacob's trouble. And it's only going to intensify. As we read, he has but a short time. Okay? Let's go ahead and close out. You know, this is very becoming to see that video, man, of how goddamn Esau rounded up Jake, you know, the southern kingdom along with the northern kingdom, man. But won't round up Esau, Edom like that. So this is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. This is 1 Peter 5 and 8. It reads, be sober, be vigilant. See, how many more times we got to tell you that, hey, this damn devil don't care about you. Never trust thy enemy. You thinking that you a citizen, that's where your first mistake lied at. Your first mistake lied in the fact that you thought that you was a U.S. citizen and that you had rights. You're gonna get woken up to the sad truth, all right? You finna get hauled off in one of these vans, and that's gonna be it. So it says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. He has but a short time, an intense measure of time. So he got to come and bring it. We right here. We ain't going anywhere. We right here. Them damn devils finna bring it, man. And when they bring it, they gonna be met with something to the likeness like they never seen before in their life. Our weapons are not carnal, but spiritual. The Lord finna turn his man up all the way. Y'all finna see the Lord go to work, man. He finna start showing his miracles, his power through his men. Brothers gonna take off and fly. Brothers gonna be teleporting. Brothers gonna get spiritual powers to teach my hands to fight, so that my arm could bend a bow of steel. Brothers gonna get healing powers to heal the sick. All to give praise and honor and glory to who? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. So we getting ready to come into a very intense measure of time. All right? We in the beginning stages. Once it's here, once it's fully blown and we in the midst of Jacob's trouble, ain't gonna be no turning back, man. Lord letting you get your faith up because he knows he's getting ready to come down. He's letting this devil get ready to be unleashed. So we telling you to what? Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right? And like we read, let the multitude perish in vain. Okay? Because a lot of you think you doing the Lord will, you're going to perish in vain. All right? That's just how it is. So with that being said, pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.